בשמיים, חום האש, צליל המים, אני מרגיש זאת בגופי, ברוחי ונשמתי. היה, 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 היה,
I grew up in a Zionistic home with a love for Israel, and when I was 18 years old, I visited Israel to visit my husband, at the time just my boyfriend. It was a wonderful trip that I'll never forget, and when I got married and had my own kids, I knew that I wanted to send them to Israel to learn, since I didn't get that experience.
I knew that this was the experience that I wanted. All that I really knew about AMIT was that they had this great chesed program, and at the time I wasn't so interested in the learning. From the moment I landed, I felt this connection with the faculty and the students. I just knew that this was the place for me.
Our first experience with Midrashat AMIT and Beit HaYaled was when my niece, Abigail Blinzer, was there for the year. And my other sister-in-law, Pesha Ben Ami, made a joint bat mitzvah celebration for her daughter Tova with a girl from Beit HaYaled. I thought it was like the most special experience we've ever had, and I knew from then that I wanted to send Evie there and my other girls.
It's something that our family still talks about. In prior experiences in school and in camp, growing up, I didn't really feel like I was individualized only from like friends and family, but at AMIT, the faculty always came up to me, always asking how I was doing, what I was up to, and that was something really special to me. I was never really into learning in high school. I was always ditching my Gemara classes and my Chumash classes, sorry. But at AMIT, the faculty found ways to connect me to Torah and found things that I was interested in personally, and I had chavrutot with a few teachers learning about Shabbat and kosher and marriage and things that I would need for a lifetime and things that will help me raise a Jewish family. The faculty always reminded us that learning isn't just for guys. The girl really sets the tone of the home. And I'm forever grateful to Ms. Gala and to Barbara and to Rav Goldstein for giving me that experience. At AMIT, I was lucky enough to connect with my Beit HaYaled child, and we had such a great time together. And I even met his teachers, and I cooked him dinner, and we went to the skate park and to the mall together, and the Zugim, the foster parents, really gave me a great experience and great independence with him. But in hindsight, the learning was what really made my year so impactful. And I'm still learning to this day, and I'm still davening and really have this great connection to Israel and to Torah and to Chesed. But now, instead of being individualized, they're all tied together into one. I had the opportunity to visit AMIT again this past January over my winter break. My largest excitement was to see my Beit HaYaled child, Inon. I thought that he wouldn't want to talk to me because I left him. As I walked into the building, he was sitting on the steps waiting for me and immediately engulfed me into a huge hug. He quickly brought me up to his room, and on his desk was a picture that we took together from the year before, and it just melted my heart. Although I'm no longer in Israel, I hope to keep my connection to AMIT strong by becoming involved in AFLI, the AMIT Future Leadership Initiative program.
I would like to thank my family and friends for being here tonight, and for Evie for being my partner in crime.
I'm really appreciative to my parents for sending me to Midrashat AMIT and being my allies in this experience.
And I would like to thank all the people that run AMIT. It's a wonderful organization, and I hope you continue to support it. We hope to continue to support it as well. Good night.
And thank you, Mom, so much.
I was raised in a traditional Jewish home in North Belmore, where I learned and lived Torah values, the values of education, the values of leadership, and participation in community. My parents were both active participants in the synagogue, as well as community organizations. We learned about service, and I will always be grateful for that. My love of Israel and my desire to be more involved grew, which led me to USY Israel Pilgrimage in 1981. It was a turning point for me in my life. It awakened my desire and my dream and vision to live a Torah life closely connected to the land of Israel. I remember the moment of standing at the Kotel and envisioning my future life. That awakening led me to choose Hebrew University for my semester abroad. I knew that when I met my Bashert, Sammy Khan, and got married in 1994, that my vision was expanding. It was the summer of 2012 when we made that decision to take our first family trip to Israel, and boy, was it life-changing. It was that family trip that awakened and deepened our love of Israel, our love of the people. My children have decided to take additional trips there and be part of the country. And our son decided to become part of the IDF, to serve and be part of a bigger picture of the purpose and mission of the country. AMIT is an organization that just speaks to me in terms of living the values that I've shared with my children and raised my children. As a social worker and lifestyle coach, I know that to help people live their biggest and best and happiest life, the motivation and inspiration really needs to come from within. AMIT does that. Its innovative approach, its individual approach, its cutting-edge technology and approach to and style to learning does that. The Go-Gear program is the program that really speaks to me. Open classrooms, student-led opportunities, personal and professional growth for the teachers. It's absolutely the wave of the future, and it's where the future of education really needs to go everywhere. I'm so inspired by that program and the philosophy, and look so forward to visiting some of the schools on our next trip. AMIT is truly making an impact on thousands of children, and I know the way it goes. It goes into their families, it goes into society, and ultimately our country. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank AMIT, and particularly the Plainview chapter, for giving me the opportunity to be this year's honoree, to support and spread the word about this amazing organization. I'd also like to thank my partner in life and my family for living my dream and helping to deepen our commitment, our dedication, and our love for Israel, and for wanting to be more and more part of the fabric of the country. And to my friends for supporting us this evening. Thank you for coming.
Born in Brooklyn, raised in Brooklyn. The parents were new immigrants. By age 5, I was in Talmud Torah. And I went through to Marshalliyah. Marshalliyah is Beit Sefer Gavoha of New York. I never thought of being anything else but Jewish and involved. And became very involved with youth movements, with Habonim, which was labor Zionist. It was not a firm organization, but we met in Brooklyn parks, we danced, we went on Tiolim. Israel was declared, and we collected food to send to Israel. I mean, we did all kinds of crazy things. So my grandmother was honored by American Mizrahi women and had us all come. It was something that we were all interested in and we loved. My mother was involved with American Mizrahi women before it was called AMIT. Her friends were a circle who all did the same thing. I became very much involved with AMIT also, with American Mizrahi women, because it was my background. And so when it came time for my granddaughters to have bat mitzvahs, we made bat mitzvahs, and at each one of the bat mitzvahs, there was 3, I made them life members of AMIT and presented them with a certificate, and now they were life members also. The Great Neck chapter of AMIT was called Shalhevet from the beginning. I think it means flame. I figured we should have programs, and I would meet and ask people to volunteer their homes. And initially I did a talk on my trip to Israel or something, and then I would have somebody else come in and do something. We were successful in raising funds for AMIT. When I was in Israel, I insisted that I go see some of the AMIT facilities. I mean, each time I would add because I thought that was important. We went to see where the children lived. They were provided with clothing, books, and all kinds of things. AMIT gives them the means for which they can succeed in life and be productive and grow beautifully. I just went to Israel in November, and when I got off the plane, my children said, "I don't care what you say, we're making you a birthday party." It was a big birthday party. So I said, fine, but then I insisted that they, in the invitation, write no gifts, that they should make donations to AMIT. Ich will, versteht Yiddish a bissel, ich will from this thing, and that I am involved with something like this, and that my bubby was involved with this and got us all into this. It was just special. And my mother always was very much involved with this. They should continue to be successful and take care of all children that need. They do a wonderful, wonderful job. I thank my friends for coming, and they've always been so supportive, and they're also involved in this in AMIT. And thank my children for always supporting me in my efforts to do this. And wherever I've gone, whichever community, I've always belonged to AMIT.
I'm proud to be an honoree tonight at the Long Island and Queens AMIT Gala dinner. I'm also very, very proud to be representing the Merrick community. My husband and I joined the community just a year ago as the Rabbi and Rebbitzin. We've been so impressed with the people and the sense of community and the warmth and the kindness that we've received, and this has inspired us to want to further build up this community. And as we continue to grow our Merrick community, it would be my pleasure to help to continue to foster the growth of the Efrat chapter of AMIT here in Merrick. My connection to the land of Israel goes back as far as I can remember. I have parents who really instilled that value in me. My dad has talked about making Aliyah for as long as I can remember. And when we were kids, we used to take many family trips to Israel, and that was when I really got to see all different parts of the land and really started to fall in love with the land. I was even more fortunate that I was able to spend 2 years in a seminary program in Israel. And through my time there, I was really able to realize the value of education in the land of Israel. And I was just so grateful for the opportunity to be able to learn in the land where everything is also able to come to life. And I've heard that AMIT has a seminary program. I know it's been around for 10 plus years. And in addition to the experiences that I had, they also have such an emphasis on chesed and getting to know people living in the land and helping people living in the land, and that's really amazing. I know they're paired with children who are living in a foster home who don't have a stable family life, and they're able to give to these children and give them stability and happiness, and the givers really have the opportunity to become the receivers, and that they experience personal growth in being able to give to these children who need it. By profession, I work as an occupational therapist, and some of the things we really value as part of the occupational therapy profession is giving the people that we work with the skills for living. It's not just the academics, and that's a value that I really see in the AMIT organization. They're educating 35,000 students throughout all of Israel, but they're not just educating them, they're giving them skills so that they can live as part of Israeli society and contribute to Israeli society. I want to thank all my family and friends who are here tonight, and even this little one who couldn't be here tonight. She's sleeping. I'd also like to thank my parents, who I know would have been here if they could, just for fostering that love of Israel that I have. And I'd like to specifically thank my mother-in-law also for being here and for her support always. And of course my husband for all of his encouragement and support and love. And we're looking forward to our next trip to Israel, to being able to really see the organization come to life and to visit some of their schools. And Leo is very excited to blow kissy.
Good evening. My name is Tina Lemberger, and I am very honored to be the representative of Long Beach here this evening. For as long as I can remember, my mother was a member of Mizrahi women. All my aunts, all of my mother's friends, everybody was a member of Mizrahi women, and it was just sort of the thing to do, the thing to be. You supported Israel, you were pro-Israel, you were pro-whatever Mizrahi was doing. And then Mizrahi went and changed its name to AMIT, which took me a long time to get used to. But I was a member of Mizrahi, I became a member of AMIT. And as far as I know, all my friends are members of AMIT, and most of my relatives are members of AMIT. AMIT is a great organization with which to identify. My first trip to Israel was my junior year in college, 1966-67. It was quite an experience being at Hebrew University. All of a sudden, we woke up one morning in the spring of '67, and all the Israelis had disappeared. There was nobody in the cafeteria, there was no mail, there were no bus drivers, there was nothing. They had all disappeared. And then came the Six-Day War. My friends were getting telegrams from home saying, come home, come home. And I got a wonderful telegram from my father saying that there was no way that Israel was going to lose this. It would be quick and easy and stay, which is what happened. So we, all the Americans, volunteered. I worked in a cafeteria, my friend delivered mail. We just all volunteered, and that was the first experience to be part of Israel society when they really needed you and there was no one there. So let me just tell you a little bit about how I identify with AMIT and their educational philosophy and program. I was a music teacher for 35 years, and I taught in the inner city, which means that I taught with marginalized children who were educationally marginalized. Some of them couldn't read, some of them could, some of them couldn't succeed academically. But in music, in the music class, it's a whole different story. And if you take a kid and you let them succeed in a way that may not be their forte, excuse the pun, it may not be their forte, but it opens up a path, and then they can find another way to succeed. And that's what AMIT does. AMIT goes into these children who can't see past what's right in front of them, and it takes them and it opens up an entire world. And that's what we need, and that's what AMIT does. And that's why I support it. I would like to thank my husband Uri for always being there for me. I know that it's not an easy job, so thank you. I want to thank my kids for not laughing when they heard that Sammy and Esther had wanted me to be the Long Beach representative here. But I would like to thank my parents for bringing me up to appreciate Mizrahi, AMIT, Israel in whatever shape, manner, and form you particularly want to support it. And I want to thank the Long Beach community because the people are just wonderful, loving, giving, accepting people, and that you can't get better than that. And again, Sammy and Esther, I'll get even with you.
Mazel tov, Mom. We're so happy to be here in honor of you tonight and all the wonderful women for AMIT. You're so deserving of this honor. Despite your stroke and difficulties in speaking, you have never lost your voice. Everyone who meets you falls in love with you, and you truly are inspiring to all of us. Mazel tov, we love you.
Okay, Nava, this is your day. We're here to honor Nava because of all that she has done for AMIT. Let's see, we know each other for about 50 years now, and Nava was very active in AMIT and was the major fundraiser because she was the Israeli blonde bombshell, and she could get money from Iraq. And I would say, Nava, we can't go to these places. And she said, yes. We can. And we did. We went with our little babies in tow.
Yes.
And we got money all from it. We did fundraisers. And then Nava said, we have to do something that'll get the whole community involved. And we said, what can we do that would be a fun thing? Because Nava was always fun, and we always had good laughs together. And so one day Nava came up with the idea, let's do a square dancing. So I said, how can we do a square dancing? She said, we'll hire a caller. Well, now this is at least 45 years ago.
Yes.
And we'll do it in your backyard, my backyard. So we hired a square dance caller, and we all got dressed up in Western outfits like cowboys, and we gave bandanas to everybody. And it was the best night, the best day ever. We had so much fun, and people came. Nava got people from all over because she sold all the houses in West Hempstead. She was the best real estate broker, and she got people to come. It was filled. The place was filled, and anybody who was there that day remembers how much fun a square dance party was. But we also did Israeli dancing a lot. We had the best time doing square dancing and Israeli dancing and just having fun together. And wherever Nava was, we always laughed because we always had a good time together. And we still do. And she's still the Israeli blonde bombshell. All right, so of course we had so much fun doing all these projects for AMIT, but it wasn't only that we had fun. We obviously wanted to raise a lot of money for AMIT, and Nava especially, because she grew up in Israel and she went to schools in Israel, and she knows how important it is to raise money for AMIT. And our daughters, when they became bat mitzvah, we made them life members.
Mom, I want to thank you for instilling us and in the whole family a true love of Israel. This honor that you're getting from AMIT is truly well-deserved. We're so proud of you.
I love you as a mother, and I wish you a deep, heartfelt mazel tov on this wonderful honor that you truly deserve.
Mazel tov. We love you, Mom.
We love you.
Nava, we love you, and we're happy to honor you tonight. And now we have 2 words to say.
Thank you for coming and support AMIT. Mwah.
I grew up in a home that was oriented toward Israel because both my parents were Sabras. They were born in Israel at the time that it was Palestine, and they emigrated to America. My father was a rabbi, and the connection to Israel was very strong because my father's parents were there, my mother's parents were there, so there was no question that we were Israeli-oriented. My mother became active in Mizrahi women, which is what AMIT used to be called in the olden days. My mother was the only one of her circle who knew how to drive. And so she used to ferry the other women when they went to pick up merchandise for bazaars, because that was the chief fundraising method of Mizrahi women in those days. We knew we couldn't have the car certain days because Mama was out collecting for Mizrahi women. When we got an allowance, we had to take part of it and give it to tzedakah. I became involved in AMIT about 34 years ago when I joined the staff of the magazine. At that time, everybody was a volunteer. We all knew what our efforts were going toward. AMIT at that time was saving children who came from the Holocaust without parents, without any family, and AMIT was housing those children and educating them and clothing them. And we knew how important our work was because these children had nobody. We really worked with one child at a time. My husband Simon and I used to take a trip to Israel every year, and we visited AMIT schools. We used to love to go to Bet HaYaled. We were there for Bet HaYaled's 10th anniversary celebration. They had invited their alumni. One girl who came and spoke, she was a young woman, a mother of two. She said, "I never had a birthday until I came to Bet HaYaled." She wasn't talking about a birthday party. She was talking about the idea of a birthday. She said that people were happy that I was born. It didn't happen until I came to Bet HaYaled. In 2012, which is the year that my beloved husband Simon passed away, we wanted to do something to honor his memory. And so we decided to dedicate the Ner Tamid in the AMIT school in Ma'ale Adumim. And that was important to us, not only because it was an AMIT school, but I had two great-granddaughters who were attending that school. I'd like to thank AMIT for doing me the honor of selecting me as one of the guests of honor for this evening. And I do want to thank all my friends and family. I especially want to mention my three children, Benjamin, Rena, and Shira, who have helped me so much in my work for AMIT. It is truly a time of love for everyone here, and I do thank you all for coming, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening.